Welcome to the Grayzone. It's Max Blumenthal. Today I'm here with Mother Agnes Mariam, superior of the monastery of St. James the Mutilated in Qatta. She is currently in northeastern Syria near Iraq in a Kurdish region preparing the second convoy of aid to the Alawite heartland on the Syrian coast, an area which has been under siege for weeks by the forces of the new Syrian government of Ahmad Al-Sharaa. There have been communal massacres, sectarian violence, and we are here to discuss this issue. Mother Mariam, welcome to the Grayzone. What have you been seeing and hearing about on the Alawite coast? And are the figures of deaths accurate that we're getting in Western media?
I think that what is coming out in the Western media are very limited scores. I think the one who is saying is coming very much near the truth is some Israeli outlet. They are talking about between 30,000 and 40,000.
Wow.
We can say that it is almost 30,000,
30,000 dead.
yes, victims or disappeared people that you don't know where they are.
So how did
They
this
are
be?
missing.
How
They
did
are
this?
missing.
They're missing many missing people.
Yeah.
How did this begin? And what can you document for us of the
Uh,
violence against
yeah,
Alawites?
it's something a little bit complex because since the fall of the regime, there have been a objective discrimination, an administrative discrimination toward the coast, the population of the coast. Very little services were provided, no electricity, a little bit of electricity, but very little, no water. Even the water for agriculture was wasted in the sea, and a lot of aggression. First of all, oral aggression, like disdain or verbal aggression, and then physical aggression. And the physical aggression went, higher and higher until arriving to lethal aggression. This process culminated in uh, the killing of 12 people, 12 men in the Dahtur area in Latakia. There was a reaction. The reaction was not something like terrible. It was a reaction, a popular reaction. And in this day, very day, 70 men, Alawite, were killed. So immediately there was a kind of uprising. Now there are interrogation about the uprising because the Alawite they have entrusted all their weapons to the new government, to the new forces, and they are not people to throw themselves like this in a non-calculated uprising. In all cases, there was an uprising. And there was a counter reaction for this uprising because it was said that the rebels, the new rebels, they have killed and they have destroyed a lot of points of the security forces. And there was, a counterattack. I do not, I said it in many places, I don't care about this counterattack. I am not talking about this counterattack. It is not a crime against humanity. Because if you have an attack, you have a counterattack, especially a government who is now supposed to be the legal one. Well, they are protecting themselves. Now, the president the interim president, Mr. Al-Sharaa. Before the attack, he made a discourse. He declared that Syria is one, they want to divide us. It was a very beautiful and very exemplar discourse, saying that we should even love our enemies, take care of them, take care of the prisoners, very, very beautiful. But in the meantime, in Idlib, the ulema, they were shouting up to the jihad. The jihad
The
is,
clerics in Idlib
yeah,
were calling for jihad against the
yes,
minorities.
against the rebels. We are talking
Yeah,
about now
against the
rebels.
Alawite rebels.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh, but this jihad is a jihad with knives, and you have to behead. They were even giving details about this jihad. You go and you behead and you cut throats. So it was, incentive for a very aggressive, lethal jihad. So those people, they came down from Idlib, and they have also done a lot, robbing, stealing, killing, violating everything. I do not stop on this. It is a popular reaction. It is, it is not something against the human. It's not. It's not to go to the tribunal, the war tribunal. Now, what really uh, bring our attention is a methodical a methodical action of the muhajirin. The muhajirin are the foreigner factions working in Syria together with the security forces. They come from different countries, Chechen, Uyghur, Pakistanis, a lot of countries. Those they were unleashed, and they were not unleashed as a counterattack against rebels. They were unleashed into the residential areas where they perpetrated an onslaught by hundreds and by thousands. And this is documented. They have taken the precaution to record. Okay. Many times they give name. They say we are the Amsha. Amsha are a faction from Idlib, but they are the soul that are not Salafist, that are not Islamist. It seems that they want to take them as scapegoat, and so there have been a big campaign to incriminate this faction. But in reality, the faction who perpetrated these onslaught, this genocide, we can call it a genocide, are the muhajirin. It means the expatriate that come to Syria by love of the jihad and to install an Islamic caliphate. Their ideology is it's the same as the ISIS ideology, like Daesh. And in many places, they don't care, they don't mind to appear with the flag of ISIS. The flag of the HTS is white with the Shahada, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. The ISIS one is black with the Shahada in white. Okay. So many times you would see the flags, the black flags. We have seen them in Mosul, for example. You see in many places the flags of ISIS. So we can say it's the same ideology. Okay. They have been killing, raping, burning. They in many places, entire families have disappeared. For example, you can say we ask the Lord not to do it, but imagine that your family there is not even one member of the Blumenthal that is still alive. It's something. Or in a village, there is not even one house that is still, safe. It was a kind of cleansing, ethnical cleansing. Now, a lot have been said, but I see that it is like a little bit, very the minimum. The minimum was said, okay,
Yeah.
and I really call for an international investigation. I really call Geneva, the Council for Human Rights. I call the General Secretary of the United Nations to come to send professionals, neutral, and to make himself the inquiry. I am, I am not Syrian. I think I have the right to ask this inquiry. I think. If I don't have the right, well, I will be accused of something, and they will make a trial because I am now under a trial.
And uh, have you have visited the Alawite heartland on the Syrian coast, correct?
Yes, of course.
And
I think the 8th or the 9th, I don't remember, but very, very close, very, very close. I was everywhere. I was in Tartus, in Banyas, in Latakia, in Dorab, in Jable, everywhere, and talking with the notables, with the religious personalities, and also with the people. And I was also seeking to bury the dead because a phenomenon was that all those people, all those hordes, those, muhajirin, they did not want to bury the dead. So they left them
yeah,
to just corrupt under the sun. So I went to ask to bury them because it's the least we can ask as, give back a honor
yeah,
to those victims. I did not understand why they would do this. Was it an ultimate kind, of discrimination, of, to put someone in the most extreme indignity. But then I realized that they did not want to bury them because they wanted to wipe out their existence.
right.
So they would come with the trucks and they would take them and they throw them in the sea. And what I knew also is that the archives, the civilian registers have been either burned or stolen. So those people, they cannot count because they did not exist. There is no more any witness of their existence.
Yeah,
So they have been wiped out from the real existence, or They have been they have been uh, where they put on them uniform, military uniforms,
Ah, I
to
see.
say that they form part of the insurgents, and that's why they were killed in a combat. But they were not killed in a combat. That's why it's a crime against humanity.
And so you're describing these muhajirin who are foreign fighters, jihadists, Salafi jihadis who are motivated by a sectarian ideology, who have gone into these coastal communities and slaughtered Alawites simply for being Alawites. But the question is, how were they allowed to mobilize and get in there? What I've heard from a Western NGO that has been on the ground is that the interim president, Al-Sharaa, aka Mohammed Al-Jolani, kind of said, "Go ahead, guys, go in there and do your worst." Is that true? Did the interim government do anything to stop this sectarian violence that you describe as genocidal?
I don't know. Nothing came out from the presidency.
Yeah.
Uh, there was not, something negative or something positive. No comment. No comment. Okay. The second day, I launched a big claim for protection. And so the second day, the president declared that he was composing a committee of investigation. Okay, that's what he has done. But on the ground, the people, the witness, they say that sometimes they could not separate or discern between the security forces or the belligerent or the aggressors. In many other places, the security forces, the general security forces, they would allow, because they are in barricades, okay, points of checkpoints. So those people, the muhajirun, they could not enter in residential areas if they were not let in by the general security. Okay. Now, the general security forces, are they doing this because there is an empathy between them? They are sharing the same ideology, or because there is we say a tacit. You say tacit, it means,
Yes.
yeah, tacit orientation or directive to let it be done.
Yeah.
I am not an investigator, so this should be done by investigators, and they should really be able to name who is the responsible of such atrocities that are continuing, because they did not stop in reality. You know, from day after day, we hear that children were killed, mainly the males of the family, they are killed or they are abducted. So that's why I really think that someone should come and protect. Maybe this president, he doesn't have the means to impose the security of his own people. I cannot, judge and I cannot accuse. I just can speak about what I have seen or what I have heard.
There have been many reports also that women have been disappearing in Damascus and in other cities, particularly women from the minority communities. What have you heard about this, and what is behind these disappearances? Many of the women turning up dead after being kidnapped.
Yeah. It's a very sad story, and maybe this phenomenon will let the Alawite enter in a very big revolution, because what we called here is the honor. Al-ard, it means, the honor, the male honor about, the females. Yes, today I received from Paris a list, I can share it with you, of 48 names of women that were abducted, also circulating on the web are accounts of abduction, women abduction for sexual slavery. They call it sabaya. Sabaya is a term, when the pirates, you see the pirates,
Yeah,
they make a an attack, they can take captives.
right.
Okay, so in the Islamic tradition, and maybe in other tradition, a fighter, he has the right to have his own captives for sexual slavery.
And this was what
So,
ISIS did with the Yazidi women, for example.
bravo.
And
Exactly. So now they are, duplicating the same action, but on the Alawite. They call them Sabaya. They say it's our right. Do you have videos, circulating of Muhajirin saying it's our right? In reality, it's not only our right. It means it's not the responsibility of one person, of one fighter saying, okay, I will take this for me. And then she becomes a kind of his bride, he marries her. I heard that one of those girls, she accepted to get married just to come out of the sexual slavery. But there is a market. There is a market of a sexual market, and it is circulating on the web. She is. They give the measures. She is blonde, blue eyes. She knows, how to act, sexually. She can also cook. She can do the diverse chimes in the house,
chores.
chores in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1,500. It's on the web. I can send it to you. I received it before yesterday. So it's a reality now. After the big slaughter and the destruction of so many villages and all what I have told you, now they are, abducting those women. A lot of them are mothers of one, two, or three, children. It means that in the coast there is somehow something saying you can do whatever you want with these people. Now, what is the reason? I don't know. I can't. I tried to understand. Is it a revenge? Is it, I can't, it's above, what my reason, what my mind can come to. I don't know. It's irreasonable for me.
We recently saw uh, U.S. propagandists from Syrian Emergency Task Force, a U.S. government-sponsored regime change organization that participated heavily in the dirty war against Syria in Malula, which is the one of the oldest Christian communities on earth. I actually was able to visit it in 2018, and they were there to declare that everything is fine for the Christian community. Is that correct that the Christian minority has been exempted from the kind of violence and discrimination that has been directed against the Alawites?
Yes, in generally speaking, there was a leitmotif, don't touch the Christian. It's forbidden to touch the Christian. It means that those who have tailored this event, this historical event, they have put this as a condition. I don't know if because they have compassion on Christians, I can't tell you. But yes, it's the mot d'ordre. It means the word of order, the order. Now, it doesn't mean that Christians, are spared. I can tell you that in Malula, they have they passed through difficult times, and also in other Christian villages, because the ideology, of the supremacy of Islam is now a real, how to tell you, the way of thinking that is installed. Means I am a Muslim, so I have the priority. When you say like this, means there is a kind of discrimination. The discrimination will not allow you, for example, because there is these conditions to kill the Christian. But yes, maybe to make things that would not be allowed if everybody is equal. You see what? But it's not in a public way. It is in the periphery. It's a little bit in distant regions where you don't have a lot of eyes looking what is happening. For example, in our diocese, people were not until today. They don't feel that they are secure. There are people, entering, infringing the law, infringing, the security, the limit, etc. Of course, if you have to compare it with what the Alawite are living, it's nothing, and we can say thanks to the Lord. But everybody lives in fear in the Christian region, in the Druze region, and in the Kurds region. Everybody think now it's the turn of the Alawite. Tomorrow it will be maybe our turn. Because this ideology is the ideology that is based on discrimination. And, in Europe, you had these terrible, this terrible experience about the ethnical or religious discrimination. It's the Nazi, it's the Nazis. That's what they want. They said that we are the finest ethnic, and all the others, the Indo-Aryan are the utmost, the perfect ethnic, and all the others they don't deserve to live. Here you have a possibility, a kind of religious discrimination, and you see that it is applied to the Alawite by some factions. I don't want to generalize, and I want to be as accurate as possible. This ideology should be, you know, someone has the responsible, the leaders, they have to take a decision to stigmatize this ideology. If they don't stigmatize this ideology will spread more and more. And because it's a religious ideology. It's in the name of God that they are doing this, you see, and they think that they will be how to say it, the Lord will gratify them, you see, because they are doing this. So I hope that the United Nations, that all those people that know where we are, the journalists, the reporters. I didn't see that a lot are underlying lying these aspect, but because
You're
if
not
we don't
seeing
speak,
you're not seeing a lot of Western reporters demonstrating interest in the crimes that you're discussing that you've
yeah,
documented.
you have some for yesterday the Guardian they made things, but they do not. Maybe they are not allowed to say things like they are. For example, this ideology. Why a reporter would not speak about this ideology? To make the public opinion understand from where it comes and why it is applied, to understand the idiosyncrasies of those people. Very little is said about it, very little. I
I've
think that
noticed.
somewhere, somehow, they don't want to put the discredit, you say, discredit, the credit
Right.
and
They need,
discredit.
well, to, yeah,
It
they need
means
to maintain their credibility.
yes, the credibility, they want to maintain the credibility for the actual government to give him a chance, to continue.
Right.
Okay. But we are in a schizophrenic reality. On one part, the people are suffering. There is this reality. Nobody, very little, they are enlightening on this reality. Okay, it is ideology. Very little is said about. I said with the BBC, in a we are in a government that has adopted a Salafist Islam. The Salafist Islam is not the Ash'ari Islam, is not the Hanafi Islam. Islam, they have four branches, four big schools. So the Salafists are the most fundamentalist, okay? And they can enter into big discrimination because you are kafir. It means that it's good to eliminate you in one way or another. So they follow the decrees of Ibn Taymiyyah, and especially in the modern time, uh, Ibn Baz, and also Ibn Qutb, that is for the other branch, the Shia. Very little is said about this. So I was criticized because I, lifted the veil about this reality. But some lately, many have been talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I think that we should be frank. We have to be frank. We have to be. Let us name the phenomenon with their real names. Like this, maybe we can find a solution.
And Turkey has played a very malignant role in Syria under Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his AKP party. There was a very close relationship with ISIS. This has been documented in the Turkish language, not much in English, but it's very clear that Turkey played a role in supporting Al-Qaeda in Syria as well as ISIS, and now they are the main benefactors of this government. And we also see Israel now seizing territory in the south. What do Syrians that you've been speaking to think about this kind of great game in which Syria is being divided up? How is it affecting their lives? And what are your thoughts? Is there a future for Syrian sovereignty at all?
I would really lie to you if I say that there is any Syrian sovereignty today. I even said in another interview that Syria is no more a state, it's an agglomerate.
Yeah.
And it is run by many hands. Okay, it is run by many persons, by many entities, let us say. Okay. Now, I think Turkey is not the soul. Turkey is like a broker. They have their own. Each one of those big powers, they have their interest. So I don't want to interfere in this because it's geopolitical. I agree with Mr. Jeffrey Sachs the way he is, making his diagnostic about the war in Syria, and I hope that he will continue to give his diagnose on what is happening now, who has done what, and who is really ruling. Voilà. Now, what concerns me is the welfare of the population, of the people. Okay, I can tell you that nobody is satisfied. A very little percentage of the population that is, thinking that this is the salvation from the Assad regime, and they believe that the the new the new regime is the one who will save them. But I, wherever I go with the Sunni, with anybody, nobody is really satisfied. You see,
Yeah.
and of course they have eyes to see that another country has seized, the Mount Hermon, seized also. They have nationalized the Golan. They are in the south. Everybody sees it. Okay, it means that there is no more doors nor windows in Syria. Uh, who is responsible? If I have to speak, okay, I said, you want to do this and that. Okay, do it. But why are you killing so many people? Do it without killing, because you have the power. Just say, I want this, I want that, because in all cases, you will arrive to do it. But there is a trial against me because I said this. They said, uh, I am betraying this country and opening links with the foreign country to come cut pieces of this geography and also invade Syria. I don't want any of these to Syria, of course, but I don't like to see these murders. I don't like to see so many people slaughtered and so many families in distress. So the first for me is a human beings, is a humanity. It's very difficult, Mr. Max. It's it's a very difficult place and it's a very difficult testimony. Whatever you say, they will tell you you are partisan, you are not objective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult.
What effect have you seen the sanctions have on the lives of average Syrians, including after the removal of the Assad government, which they were supposed to target?
I think that the sanctions coming out from the Caesar Act, they have ruined the working class in Syria because in the last years there were there were no more income to the government out of pumping it from this working class. So of course it was a kind of emptying the state of its incomes,
Yeah.
and so it had to fall down. That are the terrible consequences of those sanctions. You know that in Iraq, the sanctions, they killed more than 500,000 of children, out of famine, etc.
Right.
Now, the government would like to lift the sanction to be able, to make banking and receive money and send money. It's to ease their own transaction. I don't want to accuse this government that he is thinking about himself and not about the population. I don't want to interfere. But of course, the sanctions, are hindering quasi all the sector, the economic sector, the finance sector, and also the humanitarian section because those people, if they don't work, if they don't have a salary, they cannot survive. You see.
And uh, I guess finally, you have been able to deliver one convoy of aid to the Syrian coast. How were you able to do that? How are you able to get the second convoy of aid in? Are you you're coordinating with the central government? How is your security being guaranteed? And how can people from the outside, including from the United States, support these efforts to provide aid to a community that is being slaughtered and besieged?
Yeah. We were very surprised that very little was done to come and aid those people. Very little. It was like a veto, okay, international veto. For example, the United Nations agencies, we didn't see a lot of them working hard to reach to these areas. Maybe there was a fear, I cannot say. In all cases, I had to go to the northeastern part of Syria, because I work in Al-Hol since 2019. Al-Hol is one of the biggest camp
Yeah.
of the ISIS survivors, the population that was under ISIS, and they put them in the Baghous, in the southern region of the Euphrates, and they put them in this camp. So maybe it's a little bit long to say, but I think it's interesting. The notable of the tribes, the Arab tribes, they came to me and asked me if I could interfere to free 17,000 Arab residents of the camp, because after the liberation of Syria, they could come back to their own villages. It was no more necessary for them to remain in this camp. So I went there for this camp, okay? But to go there, I had to make negotiation with the Kurdish authorities, because we are under Kurdish authorities, okay? The Kurdish autonomous region, it's Rojava there in northeastern.
Yeah.
So talking with the Kurdish people, they commented that they were very much moved by what was happening in the coast, and that if there were any partner to help them carry help, humanitarian help to the coast, they would be more than grateful. It was, like a providence. So of course I offered myself, because I have my team, and uh, logically, in the logistic, I had the means to do it. So immediately, in less than 24 hours, this convoy was ready. It was a big convoy, 17 trucks, double trucks, with 6,000 food rations and 2 to 3,000 NFIs, non-food items, and also 350 tons of wheat. How you call it? With what you make
With flour.
the bread, flour, excuse me, and 350 tons of flour with three ambulances and a team of the Kurdish Red Crescent, etc. So we went. They had received a oral permission from Mr. Al-Sharaa. So based on this, we made these 1,000 kilometers from the far northeastern part uh, to the coast. And we had no problem, but only, I said it, two incidents. Someone on the Facebook said that the Kurdish people, they take this convoy as a paravan to send ammunitions and money for the insurgent in the coast.
Like a
So we
Trojan
asked,
horse military convoy.
yes. So I asked the general security forces to come and verify. And we were there, and they came and checked the convoy, and there was nothing. Then um, another declaration, false declaration. They said that Mr. Al-Sharaa have stolen the convoy and sent it to Idlib. It was false. So we had to declare against this declaration, saying no, he gave his permission and we are here. So it was a success. We could deliver the goods everywhere with a lot of volunteers. People were very happy. They were also very relieved. And immediately the Kurdish people, they said, we want to duplicate. So I came back and I now it's the third time I go there. I came back 15 days ago to bring with me the convoy. This time I decided to make it uh, more linked with the government, with the central government. So I worked with the Committee for Social Peace. It's a committee that was built by the president to help, bring back social stability. So this committee works for the social peace. Okay,
Sorry, we
excuse me.
lost your video.
Yeah, just a moment.
Okay.
Those people, they promised a lot. They said, we have all the permission, you can move. Even the Red Crescent, the Kurdish Red Crescent, they can use their own logo, which was forbidden in the first convoy. We will receive you with all the international press. You will be able, to let everybody see how the Syrian people are unified and there is this coordination, this solidarity, blah, blah, blah. So I came, I gave to the Kurdish people all these promises. And we arrived to the border between both regions. So when we arrived, they said yes and no, and yes and no. And then finally they said, you can continue. So we entered in the government region. But after 1 kilometer, the customs, they came very harshly. They said, you have to come back. But why? They said, you don't have the permission. How we don't have the permission? So I tried very harshly to say, well, you gave us the promises. I talked with this committee. You gave us the promises. But they said, I heard very bad things, I heard. These are our enemies. We don't have trust in them. It means they said something and then they just denied. In all cases, around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, the leader of the convoy said, "We cannot remain like this. We have to go back." And they had fear, so they went back. I let the convoy wait at least 3 days to try to find a solution in the central government. But it was always negative. Why? Because the Red Crescent, the Syrian Red Crescent, wanted to receive the convoy in its own storage and distribute it as it seems right for it. While the Kurdish, they said, we want it to go to the coast and to nobody else. So there was these, the differences. And until today, the convoy did not enter. Now we were in the feast. The convoy remained on the trucks for 4 days, but finally they deposed the contains depot in depots.
Yeah.
And now we are waiting the end of the feast, maybe tomorrow, to continue this very long and very hard and very complicated process of getting the permission of the central government. So we are there. My fault was that I wanted to act in more transparency with the government. And until today, I have been defrauded. I have been, like betrayed. It's not a problem. We have been through many other things in the humanitarian field. Sometimes, in the borders, you can wait months, but
Yeah.
I hope we will not remain for months. It will be solved in few days, let us. And I will tell you if it is solved.
And we will report on the progress of your convoy.
Yes.
I had also asked if it's possible for people from the outside, including the United States, to support these humanitarian aid efforts to get aid into Syria and to the Syrian coast.
Of course, you can send containers if you want to Latakia. You can send, for example, you have our friend Paul Larudi. He gave already a very generous gift to let me, enter in the logistic of such convoys. A convoys we are paying. I am paying the transport uh, from uh, from the arrival because they arrive to a place where they are stored, but then you have to pay to distribute for the distribution, so it costs. So we are covering the sojourn of the volunteers coming
Yeah.
from the Kurdish area. We are covering the transport list and the distribution process and the safety, because we have to bring people to guard and protect these things. So it's not easy. It's a very long, it's a both convoy, it's 1,000 tons. It's a lot, even more, 1,000, more or less 300 tons. So it's a
Wow.
lot, and it's a lot of money. So we really thank the Kurdish region, because Kurdish are not only Kurdish, they are Arabs, tribes, they are Syriac, Chaldeans, Armenians, many people, all those, and a lot of women association, all those, they put their own salaries, their own spares economy into this convoy, and with a lot of generosity and solidarity with the coast. This is very important because it bases the social peace, you see, between the different components of this country. I hope that the government will have the wisdom not only to give the permission, but himself, to favor such initiative. Yeah.
Well, we will see, and we will definitely report on the progress of this second convoy
Yes.
from northeastern Syria all the way to the Syrian coast, the Alawite heartland, which has been under siege for many weeks now
Yeah.
since the change in government in Syria. Mother Agnes Mariam, superior of the monastery of St. James of the Mutilated, thank you so much for joining us here at the Grayzone, and best of luck with your humanitarian mission.
Thank you, Max, for your audience. We are always together for the same cause of humanity. God bless you.
Thank you.